Hey, how's it going, guys? So before I jump into Mass Effect, I decided to watch a video like this to pretty much maybe help me along what I'm getting into. So this is 10 plus tips and tricks I wish I knew, basics and advanced for Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and we're only going to be covering Mass Effect 1 because that's the game I'm going to be jumping into. And by the way, thank you so much for all your support and comments, guys, on my Mass Effect videos, because I say right now, out of all videos, that's the fastest rising videos I have on the channel right now. I did not know the community and fan base of Mass Effect was this big. But anyways, let's see if he has any tips and tricks that I should know before I jump into Mass Effect 1, because I do plan on playing the game later today, but you guys probably won't see the first episode until later this week because there's a lot of editings and I want to gather up a few episodes before I start jumping into it. Before I start releasing it on the channel, So without anything else, let's jump into top 10 tricks, tips and tricks of Mass Effect 1.
Greetings, Commanders. This is Kato Genesis, and welcome to a little tips and tricks on the first Mass Effect game of the Legendary Trilogy. Obviously, some of these tips will be able to apply to the original Mass Effect game, but there are some new features that come along with the Legendary version, so you can expect to hear about those too. And if this is your first time jumping into Commander Shepard's shoes, don't worry, this is free of story spoilers, and we'll be focusing on gameplay tips and such. So let us...
For a second, that just came into my mind as soon as I hit play. I was thinking like, this doesn't have spoilers, does it? But I guess he pretty much answered that.
Relay jump to this many tips and tricks I wish I knew before playing Mass Effect 1, the original and Legendary Edition.
I'll be playing the Legendary Edition in case you guys are wondering.
About the Mass Effect series as a whole is that your actions as Commander Shepard will have rippling consequences throughout the rest of the games if you're choosing to bring your character through all three. Even though you can start anywhere in the series and kind of get the gist of what's going on, there will be many special consequences throughout the second and third game if you bring the Shepard you played as from the first. Be aware that some of these do take a long time for an actual payoff, but in a lot of cases there will still be one.
Okay,
there were quite a few features that came with the first game in Legendary Edition that aren't present at all in the original. One of these is the choice between Legendary or Classic mode. Legendary mode lets you rack up experience a lot more.
In Classic mode, the original 1 through 60 level range will be used instead of the new 1 through 30 level range. XP and telepoints progression remains the same, but the number of levels is doubled. Okay, I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing this is one of those games where when you level up, you become stronger and more experienced and gain, because I see right there auto level ups, and that means I'm guessing this is one of those games where you get skill points, so you can upgrade your character to like get certain skills and things like that. Subtitles, autosave, oh thank God.
Quickly, so you don't have to do multiple playthroughs of Mass Effect 1 to get to around level 50. Classic mode just keeps the level game how it used to be in the first game, which encouraged playing through again in New Game Plus to max out your level. I'll recommend Legendary mode every single time because you have a trilogy to play. And while the first game did get Legendary the most visual attention and some quality of life stuff, mechanically I think it's safe to say that the second and third game are leaps and bounds better. And also, if you want to play both sides of Shepard's alignment, Paragon once and Renegade second, I imagine you'll want to crush the game the second time anyway.
Wait, say that again?
Paragon once, leaps and bounds better. And also, if you want to play both sides of Shepard's alignment, Paragon once and Renegade second, I imagine you'll want to crush the game the second.
What does it mean by Paragon and Renegade? Maybe he'll explain it. Maybe I'm just thinking a little too hard.
Time anyway.
Speaking of
changes when it comes to the Legendary Edition, there is a control toggle for the Mako Land Rover that you can drive around on terrestrial areas.
Shit, you can
and
control
this basically
vehicles?
switches it from tank controls to directional controls. It's more a matter of preference, and I honestly can't tell you which one is better, but the toggle is there in your options if you need it.
Okay. Photo mode.
As I want to talk about with the new features is, yes, there has been a lot of visual improvements with the first game, and along with that came photo mode, which is also available through the rest of the games now. In Legendary Edition, there will be a new button in the menu towards the bottom.
That's going to be great for
that says
thumbnails.
Photo mode, and that's how you activate it. I didn't play around with it too much. This is your standard photo mode fare. It comes with color correction, field of view, things you would expect from a photo mode, and the ability to remove all characters from the shot if you're looking to just get some cool shots of the environments that you come across in Mass Effect. And there are a lot of beautiful views and different atmospheres to experience.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be using that for my thumbnails.
Mass Effect 1 relies on a lot of discovery to find different objectives, and that could be just talking to NPCs and getting missions from them, or examining objects and getting information on areas you can explore once you hit the galaxy map. So if you do find terminals with the ability to activate, chances are also high that it will lead you to a location of interest. A side note on the, dare I say, massive amount of things you can discover in Mass Effect 1, you can not only gain objectives from discoveries and conversations with non-player characters, but also experience. Simply learning about the Mass Effect universe can net you more experience from whomever you meet, and possibly even level you up as you get more immersed in the Mass Effect universe.
I saw the
One of the
like interaction option right there, like, you know, which questions you want to ask and things like that. It kind of reminds me of well, I say the most recent game I played that had something like that was Terminator Resistance. If you guys haven't seen that already, go check it out. And also kind of reminds me a little bit of like Telltale games, because you know how like if you make some choices here and there, it has certain consequences compared to the other one that you have. So that's kind of giving me the same vibes as that. And next, the Codex.
The options in your menu is the Codex, and is a wonderful tool to learn the Mass Effect universe and its various life forms, cultures, and technology. If you are brand new to the series and have questions related to these things, chances are there will be a Codex entry to read or listen to. Throughout your exploration of the galaxy, you will gain more Codex entries as you go. It is rare that this much time is spent on voice work for world building. So
Whoa,
at the
that's a
very
lot of
least,
things to
check
read.
out that primary tab because it's totally worth it if you want to get immersed.
Okay.
The Citadel is the main hub in the game, and where you'll spend a good chunk of your hours there if you're looking to complete objectives. On the Citadel, the Wards District is where you will locate the Med Clinic. Here, early on, you can find armor modifications that will greatly help your survivability and keep you from using too much meta-gel to keep yourself alive before, during, and after combat. Something that will improve your life and Shepard's life, by extension, is the medical interface mod for their armor. Once it is equipped, it will grant a passive HP regen, saving you on so much meta-gel in between fights.
Okay, well, now I have one location saved, so I know where to go.
Speaking of modifications, we move over to weapons, and there are a lot of different types of ammunition to talk about, but I would like to specifically bring up the anti-organic and anti-synthetic ammunition, anti-personnel and anti-armor, respectively. These I recommend you swap on the fly, and you can, even in the middle of combat. The first game splits it down the middle pretty well on which type of enemies you will be encountering between synthetics and organics, but the important part is to swap your ammo when you find out who you're fighting. This becomes more important as you're playing the game on harder difficulties. If you're playing on normal, probably don't need to worry about it as much, but veteran and onwards, the ammo type you choose does make a world of difference in how much time the battle is going to take. And late into the game, the damage bonuses you'll be getting with this ammunition gets up into the 40% range, and I don't need to tell you how massive of a boost that is to your damage. It's 40%.
Yeah, that is a lot.
I want to talk about team management for a little bit. That's both assembling your team and working with them in a combat scenario. So in this example, my version of Shepard is biotics focused, leaving no room for engineer abilities. So it was ultimately more beneficial bringing along characters that would complement my build rather than just stack a whole bunch of biotic energy, which is awesome and terrifying for the enemy, but I would lose out on the tech side, and there are a lot of containers and terminals to bypass. Since I had no tech to speak of, I brought someone along who did, so I could break into anything we came across, often resulting in more loot. This is recommended purely as a gameplay standpoint. When it comes to narrative, that's up to you. But it appears as though Mass Effect 1 was built around complementary skills between teammates.
So Basically, from what I just saw at the menu, if I'm reading this correctly, and from what he just said, sounds like this is one of those games. Instead of like just doing a solo mission, you actually can like choose companions to bring along with you on like missions, and each one of them have like certain skill abilities. Like one is good at lock picking, one is good at combat, one is good at something else, explosives here and there. I'm just trying to speak from Terminator Resistance, but it sounds like each one is good with like certain skill sets. So what he's saying is don't bring the like two or three companions that have like the exact same skill sets, because I mean sure you'll be stacked on like that kind of area, but you'll be weaker in something else. Like you can't even hack a computer, you can't lock pick a door. So I think that's what he's trying to say. So just be like a little bit more versatile when it comes to picking your companions, from what I'm getting, if I read that correctly. Now the squad AI.
Another thing about teammates is their AI in combat is not terribly great. So one thing I would suggest, so they're not just
What?
getting in your way when you're trying to shoot something around cover and they're just standing in front of your reticle, is to send them to another point with your commands preemptively. Ideally behind cover, unless you're just trying to incapacitate them so they're completely out of the way.
Whoa,
Oh, and if it's
what
not set
ability
already,
was
set them
that?
to always use their skills. Unless you like micromanaging them on the ability wheel, I personally like to be active in combat myself and let the AI kind of do their own thing, dumb as they are sometimes. And I'd rather they were generous with the damage dealing rather than conserving their abilities and just waiting for Shepard to give the order.
Okay, so I don't know if maybe it's because this game it came out a while ago. Maybe the AI wasn't as great at the time, so I think they just refocused on the visuals rather than the AI itself. So I guess that's one thing I got to keep in mind. Saying the AI is not going to be like too great. Maybe they'll be good at support as long as you, as you said, micromanage and tell them where to go and what to shoot at. But besides that, if you let them do their own thing, it's kind of going to be a little bit of an obstacle from what I'm hearing. All right, licenses and upgrades.
Merchants and vendors throughout Mass Effect will sometimes have licenses that they sell down towards the bottom of their inventory. These licenses let the quartermaster on your ship sell some of these things from those manufacturers,
Oh,
saving you
okay.
a
To
trip to the
unlock
Citadel
new
market if you're
items.
in dire need of some basic equipment. Additionally, merchants will sometimes have permanent increases to metagel or grenade capacity for sale too. So it's always good to check the bottom of their inventory first, especially if it's your first time there. These upgrades and licenses are always worth getting because sometimes there's no guarantee that that merchant will still be where they were. When you start
Sell
off and first
gel.
start looting throughout Mass Effect, you'll get the option of converting items into Omni Gel. Unwanted items can be converted into Omni Gel 4 per item you decide to break down. And Omni Gel's primary use is bypassing hacking minigames, and to a lesser degree, used to repair the Mako rover. If you've got no problem doing things manually when it comes to electronics and decryption, converting items into Omni Gel probably won't even be necessary. I will say there are exceptions to this rule, and they are story-related puzzles that a lot of you probably won't want to be bothered with, so keep a small stock of about 100 Omnigel on you just in case. So as a result, I will strongly recommend selling equipment over converting it into Omnigel, because fairly often you may find that you're not getting the gear you need just from looting stuff, and will need to purchase it from merchants who charge a premium. As the galaxy opens up, both money and resources will even out, and if you go out of your way to explore and complete as much as you can find, you're likely to gain a surplus of both, but early on, credits are more valuable than Omnigel.
Okay, got it.
Terrestrial maps don't always show every point of interest. After dropping in on the Mako to explore planet side, sometimes you can find mineral deposits and get credits if you survey them. Unlike scanning unexplorable planets, sometimes there's multiple deposits on planets that let you explore with the Mako. The amount you gain from these deposits is also determined by your level.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Someone was at the door. All right, let's continue.
Your level, the more thousands of credits you will get by finding these deposits. So keep your eyes peeled for that extra funding if you need it.
Oh, so it said lithium. So I guess this is one of those games where you can actually like find mineral deposits and maybe gather them up and sell them, or yeah, sell them. Like, or maybe weapons upgrades. There we go. That's the better one, because what game was it? Uh, I do remember like certain games, they needed like certain weapons parts or something like that so not only is it just a matter of money, you need to have like certain weapons parts to like be able to customize or upgrade or even purchase that weapon. So it kind of looks like that from what I just saw on the mining just now with the lithium deposit. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Something I learned
Mako
about the
weapons.
Mako is that even though it has some gnarly firepower, there was a concern in my mind that there was a experience
Oh, dude, he
reduction when
just
it
ran him
came to
over.
kills with the Mako's overpowered cannon. You'll be pleased to know that this is not the case. Any situation where you can use the
Damn, what
Mako
kind of
to
shield is
take out
that?
enemies, there's no experience penalty whatsoever, as opposed to taking them out on foot. So enjoy using that Mako cannon to ragdoll your enemies.
Item
If you
limit.
are completionist, you'll probably be swimming in items by the end of the game. Just so you know, there is a 300 item limit for the inventory, and it doesn't seem like it tells you up until you hit 250, and then it won't shut up about it. So this is the point where I recommend turning what you don't want into Omni Gel, because you're probably good when it comes to credits at this
You currently
point.
have
But I just figured
250.
if any of you are worried of reaching some sort of inventory limit, there is a really generous
Hey, being able to carry 300 items is a pretty good thing in my opinion. Because I mean, some games you could barely carry like 100 until they say like, no, you're over capacity. You gotta sell things. But then again, I guess this is one of those games where you can pick up a lot of stuff or carry a lot of stuff, or there's a lot of looting. I'm guessing because judging by that, right now what I'm seeing on the screen, katana, the scimitar, and the naginata. Wow, they're all weapons. Name of shotguns and sniper rifles. I'm guessing each container or things like that carries so many items that you gotta really make a decision on that. But hey, I'm all for it.
one, and the game will tell you way early if you're approaching that limit. There
Import to
were more
ME2.
changes, no doubt.
Oh, so okay, import is the like number one comment you guys have been like putting on my uh trailers reaction video. You guys have been saying what you really like about this game is each Mass Effect is, of course, the story is connected to each other, but you're saying that your character can be like carried over to the next Mass Effect game. So every choices and the character how they look like in the first Mass Effect can literally have an impact on the second Mass Effect game. And that's like the number one thing I heard. And to be honest, I'm all for it, and I really like hearing that.
Doubt when taking your character from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2. Besides the unified character customization, you can take the exact same looking character in the first game and take them all the way to the third game. But what is also cool is it
Paragon.
seems like the resource and credit bonuses were increased as well when you start the second game with an imported character. This is a huge jumpstart for Mass Effect 2, and is another thing to look forward to besides your romantic interest, whoever they were in the previous game.
Romantic interest.
Now, I
Oh, so
open the
there are
floor to you to
romances.
share your
Yeah, I
tips and
remember that.
tricks in regards to Mass Effect 1 down in the comments.
One of you guys said something about romance. I'm sorry for pausing it. The reason I'm saying I remember that is because one of you guys did say your romance that you like to do was, if I remember correctly, Tali, Tali, Tally or Tali, and another one was one of you guys said my favorite romance was Liara, Liara, Liara. I don't know, but you guys did mention there are romances in this game, and again, I'm all for it.
Below. There's a lot of awesomeness that happens in the Mass Effect series, and some
Normandy.
changes that may not have been explicitly stated, but have made it into the Legendary Edition of the game. Thank you to Wasteland Legends Sven and my buddy Jared at Jared Gaming for their contributions to these tips, Sven for being a patron as well, and to the rest of the patrons on screen now. They are wonderful, and if you, like them, wish to have your name
Okay, so that was top 10. I mean, not top 10, 10 tips and tricks I wish I knew, but I'm pretty sure there were a few things in the comments section as well. I want to take a look at that. Let's see. One tip: when you port your ME to M2, sell off all your items in ME2 to rack up. So basically, you can the items won't carry over, but the amount of currency and all that you have will. Let's see. If you're hearing like a cough, it's one cool is both Ashley and Caden. Walk by, finish, talk to him both. If you find any kind of Colossus armor, keep it. Colossus armor is hands down the best armor in the game. Oh, okay, Colossus armor. I'm gonna have to write that down. If you find you're bumping up against the inventory cap but can't seem to figure out why, check the weapon, armor, and grenade upgrade section. That's usually where the pack bloat is coming from. Oh, okay. Let's see. My one tip: don't forget to do as many side missions as you can. It helps a huge amount, and if you help certain NPCs, it helps you later in games. Oh, so it's like you can have an asset or things like that. Okay, I really like that. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, don't undervalue the power of having your squad mates focus on a single target. A dead enemy can't hurt you, so have your entire squad focus on one enemy at a time. I think this is more like how the AI acts, kind of. I never played Mass Effect, just started the Legendary Edition. This is exactly what I was looking for, superior video. Okay, so this person also started Mass Effect, but that was 2 years ago. Alright guys, there you guys have it. So that was just a video I decided to watch before I start playing Mass Effect later today. I'm gonna have to play later in the late afternoon because I got some few errands and things I gotta do today before I get into it, but I am really looking forward to it. A lot of you guys have been saying a lot of great things and everything, but you guys probably won't see the very first video until Friday or Saturday. I'm still trying to decide. It depends on how many episodes I can rack up because there are some internet and schedule issues, which is why I'm just like still waiting on like when I should upload the first video, but I am gonna get into the game today. I can promise you that much. If you guys have any other like advices or tips like he didn't cover, or if you guys just want to say, please put it down in the comments below. I'm all for it. But so far what he showed me in the video and what he explained, it sounds amazing. Like how the story connects one another. You don't have to start your progress all over again when you start Mass Effect 2. You could just carry your character over from the first game. The amount of, I guess, the looting, because if you're able to carry 300 items, and if you're at risk of capping out, that means you're able to gather a lot. The squad AI, I'm gonna have to figure out for myself, so we'll see how it goes. Looks like there's a lot of vehicles, but looks like there was only a ground vehicle, so I wonder if there's like a space vehicle, you know, like a space battle. That would be really cool. And from there, I mean, you're just gonna have to wait until then to see my first Mass Effect video. But anyways, thank you guys so much for your support, guys, because like I said, my Mass Effect videos have been really racking up. Your guys' fan base is huge, because the last time my views and all that like racked up was when I posted the Warhammer 40k cinematic trailers, because the Warhammer 40k like fan base and community is pretty big as well. So I guess I'm just having like one of those moments again. But anyways, thank you guys for your support. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And again, hit that notification bell so you know when I drop the very first episode of Mass Effect 1. Because like I said, guys, I'm going to be playing today, but it's going to be coming very soon. But anyways, thank you so much for your patience, because I know some of you guys are saying like, man, I wish the video was today. Trust me, I wish it was today as well. But there's just a few things that I want to figure out before I start that series, because I want to make sure I can get a consistent schedule of like one gameplay video a day, so that way you guys don't have to go, oh man, this is hanging in suspense like a cliffhanger type thing. That's why I'm doing that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.